Wait, if AI is so smart, why doesn't it remember all the past conversations? Does it actually store information somewhere, or does it just make things up on the spot? You ask it a question, and within seconds, it gives you a detailed, well-structured response. Does that mean AI remembers things like a human do? Or does it have a huge storage of facts hidden somewhere? Well, no, this is not true. In fact, large language models like ChatGPT doesn't actually store knowledge in the way a database does. Instead, they use something far more fascinating. Let's step inside the mind of LLM and understand this in the simplest way possible with minimum complicated jargons. Imagine walking into a huge library expecting rows upon rows of books, but instead every page is blank. Confused, you ask the librarian for a book about space exploration, and right in front of your eyes, words magically appear on the blank pages, forming the exact explanation you needed. That's exactly how LLMs work. They don't retrieve answers from a stored memory like a search engine. Instead, they generate responses from scratch every single time. But how does that actually work? To understand how LLMs know things without memory, let's break down how they are built. These models are trained on a huge amount of text. Books, articles, research papers, conversations, pretty much everything publicly available on the internet. But instead of storing full sentences, they learn patterns between words. It learns how words relate to each other. And based on those patterns, it predicts what should come next. For example, if you ask, who was the 16th president of US? The AI doesn't look up the answer. It predicts the most likely sequence of words based on everything it has learned. Inside a large language model, there is no traditional memory, no saved files, no stored conversations. Instead, there's a massive neural network with billions of tiny dials called parameters or weights. Each parameter represents a small piece of knowledge learned from the training data. Here's what happens when you ask a question. The AI activates relevant connections in its neural network. It calculates probabilities for what word should come next. It selects the word with highest probability and repeats again and again and generates a proper response piece by piece in real time. Think of it like a super advanced autocomplete. But instead of finishing your sentence, it constructs entire explanation word by word. This is why LLMs can discuss a vast range of topics, even ones they were not explicitly taught. They don't recall facts, they predict what makes the most sense based on the context. But if AI is so smart, why does it sometimes get things wrong? It's because LLMs don't have a true memory. They can't fact check themselves. They only generate what sounds statistically correct, not necessarily what is actually true. This is why AI sometimes confidently states false information that sounds right, but is not. In AI, we call this hallucination. For example, if you ask, who won the Nobel Prize in 2026? Even though 2026 hasn't happened yet, an LLM might generate an answer anyway. It's not lying, it's just predicting the most likely response, even if that response makes no sense. That's why AI sometimes makes up historical facts, fake scientific theories, or even non-existent sources. So how do we make AI more accurate? Simple, we give it feedback. There are multiple strategies including RAG, fact-checking, web searches, external databases, context window expansion, etc. Let's go one by one. What does that mean? The AI looks up real-time facts from trusted sources instead of predicting them. AI learns from human corrections to improve its accuracy. Instead of guessing, AI fetches information from verified sources like Wikipedia or academic papers. AI can now remember more of the conversation, reducing inconsistency. And AI is learning to flag uncertain answers instead of stating them as fact. These improvements help to make large language models more reliable, but still, they are not perfect yet. So for the summary, LLMs learn from massive text data, not by memorizing facts. They predict the next word based on patterns. They use neural networks to process language. They remember only within a short context window. They can sometimes generate incorrect or misleading information. Basically, AI isn't magic. It's more like a super powerful pattern detector. Okay, that's all for this video. If you found this video helpful, Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more such videos.